Welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And I'm back. I'm back. I had a fun time in Boston.
I was wondering if you froze while you were there.
I did freeze. It was cold, but I guess it's gotten even colder since I left.
Yeah.
It snowed. The day after, or the day I left, was like miserable rain. I mean, I missed it all, but Hannah was like, "You missed the horrible weather and everything."
Yeah, I had just read that like the whole eastern half of the U.S. was supposed to have a storm or something like that.
So it was fun. So at the very end of last week, I'm going to go first. At the very end of last week, you showed a piece of this that I was knitting. I've gotten a little bit further. What this is actually a stocking.
I was going to say, is that a big sock?
Yes, it's a big sock. It's a stocking. This is a mystery knit along by Arne and Carlos, and it's completely free. And every day so you had to knit the toe by December 1st, which I got done. And then every day they give you 6 rows. I am, of course, behind, but I'll put a picture here of what it's supposed to look like today. So every day you get 6 rows, and here's where we are. Isn't that cute? So the green triangles are just the toe increases, and then it's color work up at the top. See? And
that's cute.
And right now, December 8th is the first day of the heel. So this is the leg of the stocking, and then the heel starts, and then 2 days of heel, and then you do the foot. Then you do the leg. So I'm sorry. This is the foot, because this is the toe, and then you do the foot, and then you do the heel, and then you go up the leg. And it's 6 rounds a day from December 1st to the 24th. So on Christmas Eve, you will have a stocking, if you keep up. Which I may or may not do, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And
it's color work, and I think it's coming out really nicely. So that was what I was doing. This was my palette cleanser after that shawl.
What did she think of it?
She loved it. She was pretty speechless when I gave it to her, but apparently the next day, she told Hannah, "Did you see what your mom gave me? It's amazing. It's so great." Blah, blah, blah. So she really did like it. And so that was fun. It was good to see her and good to give her that. And so that was a highlight. And the other thing I'm working on is a friend of mine has where's my phone? Has a brand new granddaughter, and they asked me to make a stocking. So I started this. She kind of just wants red and white like a candy cane. So here's the colors. It's just acrylic yarn, but I figured for a stocking that is going to be opened by a little kid. Yeah, it's sparkly yarn from Hobby Lobby. It's the I Love This Yarn. It's the Christmas
How old is
sparkle.
She?
Huh?
How old is she?
3 months. She's a baby. So
2 years from now, when you finish it,
no. So I found
give it to her when she's 25.
So this is cool. I found a pattern, a free pattern online, and you knit a straight piece, but halfway through you put a purl row. So this is all knit stitches, and then you do a purl row, and it folds. See, look how cool. And then you knit the cast on edge and your stitches on the needle together at the same time. So I was thinking, because this is just a girl who made a pattern, and I'm like, what really should have been was a provisional cast on the front edge. So then you could actually put a needle in there and have live stitches on both, and then that would have been really easy, because it's kind of hard to make sure you're lined up and to find exactly each stitch. But no, this is going to go fast. And I said, when do you need it by? And she said, Christmas Eve. And I was like, I can do that. But it's going fast. So that's what I'm working on, my second palette cleanser. I was just at Hobby Lobby the other day, and I'm like, fine, I'm going to start this now and not have to worry about it. So, anyway, and then, so she also talks about doing duplicate stitch on here. So I'm going to put the baby's name on there. So this is the width of the top, and it's nice and sturdy and thick. So it'll be a nice cuff, and then it's only 50 rows of it's not a huge scarf. Stocking. So that's what I'm doing right now. I have some other Christmas ho-ho-hoing to do, but I probably won't be sharing it on here because all y'all will find out what you're getting, and I don't want that. So, and before I hand it over to Beth, I'm gonna give you. But I have a lot of stories from Boston.
Beth? She has too many patterns.
Okay, to whoever's going next. I want to tell you about this. This is gorgeous. I walked in and saw this in my spot, so I know I have to talk about it. Look at this set. Isn't that gorgeous? It's, what is this? Little holly, white on white holly design is the contrast fabric. And then these trees with cardinals.
That's really
and then
pretty.
the little
Notions.
The little notions pouch, and both of them have a really cute little cardinal charm on there. And here comes a dog.
You wouldn't believe how hard I had to look for cardinal charms.
This is so pretty.
And I mean, I'm sure they were there all along at Hobby Lobby, but I thought, I'll just look on Amazon.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
So this is really, really beautiful. And I mean, it's Christmassy, but it's also just beautiful in general. So tell me about the sale, Eve.
25% off of 35 or more.
25% off of 35 or more. And if you order this right now, you'd have it in time for Christmas, right?
Yeah, there's not very much longer, but yeah.
Yeah. So get on it. Get on it. That's so pretty. I mean, you can give yourself a Christmas present too.
This little flying.
I know, they're so cute.
Because usually you see them perched like this.
Yeah, there's a one that's flying.
Yeah.
So this is new, and we have a lot of other things on our Etsy shop. So that is that, and I'm passing it on to whoever's going next, whoever that is.
Okay.
I guess it's Eve.
I have not been doing a lot because I'm trying to get these ornaments done. So for WIP-GO, I said no, because I didn't want to have to feel pressured to work on anything besides the ornaments I wanted to work on. So the WIP-GO project for November, the second one, was the snowflake ornaments, cross stitching for fun, and I had started with this one. And this I may finish because it's so close to being finished, this deer, just to have another ornament finished. I don't know why I decided to do this to myself. Who knows? Sorry. The fabric is fraying. So this is how far I've gotten so far. And honestly, I'm on the home stretch. So on here, I have, let's see where I'm pointing, half of this snowflake to do, and the rest of the border and this stuff right here, and then half of this snowflake and this. And it's a lot, but it's not as much as when I picked it up this year. So, but I'm going to finish the other ones I wanted to work on before I work on this. Well, I may not start a new one before I work on this. We'll see. I love the deer. The deer is what made me want to buy this, plus the penguin. Okay, the owl's cute too. This thing is weird, and I don't know what it is. Is it a rat? Is it a mouse?
Is it
I think it's a polar bear.
Is it? Who knows? But that was the second WIP-GO.
Excuse me.
And I've been thinking about how and if I wanted to do WIP-GO next year. I'm trying to.
I've been thinking about that too.
I've enjoyed WIP-GO because it helps you pull out stuff you may not otherwise do, and so I like it for that. But it kind of is a lot of pressure.
Yeah, you feel enslaved to
Right.
Get this done.
Yeah.
To meet my goals. Unless you're just like me and just like don't. This is a good idea.
So I'm working on 2 different ornaments from this magazine. I showed my semi-finish last week of the 2023 snowman. I did put a hanger on it, but I'm thinking I want to put some glue on the end of that ribbon so that it doesn't untie, because I don't want to leave the little ties hanging out. I didn't bring it over here because, why? Did I bring it over here?
Yeah.
I did.
Oh,
So
cute.
These ends right here. Now, I tied this twice, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay.
Right.
So I'm thinking I'm going to put a little dot of glue on this and then trim these things shorter. Maybe. I don't know. That's why I haven't done anything with it yet, because I'm not sure. See, this
Yeah,
one
that's
already
pretty.
is not
Yeah.
tight enough.
I like this pretty ribbon.
It's the same ribbon I used on the other one.
With the little gold dots on it.
So,
oh, wow. That's really pretty. It looks so good, Eve.
Yeah.
it was harder than I anticipated. You know, you look at stuff and you're like, oh yeah, that won't take that long. Right. So another one I'm working on is Candy Swirls by Julie de Botelli. Talk about being harder than it looks. It's just 3 little candies, right? There's a lot of fractional stitches. So this is how far I've gotten. Once I stick in, I'm wanting to finish all the white and then work on the last quarter of this peppermint so that I can do the back stitching all the way around without having to cut the thread or whatever. However, because I stitch with 1 thread on the satin thread, so I'm tempted to kind of do some back stitching, sort of back stitching.
What are you eating? She ate something. She ate something.
I don't know.
And I see a piece of ribbon on the floor, so excuse me, I'm gonna go get it. We don't need to stop, but just.
Okay. So, this is very, you have to just like really, really, really be concentrating on, because some of the fractional stitches are in one corner and others are in another corner, and you just need to be cognizant of where you are. So it's taking me longer than I anticipated again. And then I showed that I restarted something. Peace on Earth.
The Peace on Earth one.
Yeah. And I don't know where it is, so I can't tell you who did it. Let's see.
I was excited when I saw that last week.
I just was like, I'm working so much harder trying to do it on this fabric.
I know,
and it was just like, no, never mind.
The week prior, I was putting it in there, and I'm like, I can't
see it.
any of it. It made me sad, and that's why I sent you that message. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to say, I think you should redo it, but I didn't want to say that to you.
No, I had already been thinking about redoing. So it's Peace on Earth by Evdokia Nikolaev.
Someday we'll learn to say the Russian names, or the whatever the names they are.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it. It's a beautiful pattern, beautiful design.
Just call her Nicola. That's good.
No, it's
Nicola.
Evdokia.
Oh.
the last name is Knee. What is she eating?
Oh, we're gonna have to pause. Oh,
What?
you're just chewing her nails.
She's chewing her toenails.
You're chewing your toenails. You silly dog.
I don't know if
Pardon
you
us.
can hear the crack.
The little
It's
clicking.
pretty loud. So remember, I wasn't getting very far on that other fabric. This is where I am already.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's and I still, that's with putting in the E on piece a few times and, you know, stuff like that. You know, it's just a lot easier
It
to
looks
see what I'm doing.
so good.
And what is easier is that when I make a mistake, it's easier to take it out because I can see it. And I see another mistake and, you know, I don't care. So that is what I'm working. Now, this past week in weather, the weather here in Phoenix has no idea that it's December. So we had, as we said at the end of last week, a couple of cold days, and it started out kind of sort of cold. And then we had near 80 for 2 days. I didn't hold this up. The 2023 temperature SAL by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts. So it's been pretty warm weather. Look.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like,
It's impossible to know how to dress. Like, do I take a sweater? Do I not take a sweater? Do I turn the heater on? Do I not? You know.
because the house is cold, mostly because we have tile floors, and so your feet get cold and then you get cold. But it's not, the air conditioner's not running, you know.
Yeah, I turn
The
my
heater's
fan
not
on.
running. Right?
Huh? The heat is on,
Yeah.
but it doesn't run.
Right. Right.
So,
This morning I was really kind of chilly because when I go to work, it's like in the 40s.
yeah, it's
And-
cold at night, but during the day, yeah, no. And today I'm getting ready for an appointment. I'm looking at my phone. Do I need to wear a long sleeve shirt? No. I have Christmas shirts that I would love to be able to wear. Yeah, they're too hot. Can't wear them. So,
I've been wearing sweaters to work. See, I'm wearing a sweater. It's been comfortable, but no coat.
there's a little sweatshirt I wanted to put on. I would be too hot. So, yeah, crazy warm here. It's hard to get kind of in a Christmas, I want to decorate for Christmas spirit when
When you're hot.
it's 80 degrees outside. Because we grew up where it wasn't 80 degrees outside in the winter. So, anyway, that is all I have.
I am closing.
You
out.
better go.
Finish.
You better pause right now. Go get a drink.
Go to the bathroom.
Go to the bathroom. Get something to nibble on. Okay.
Oh, while she's getting ready,
Yeah.
I forgot to mention we got a beautiful card from one of our viewers.
Yes.
Thank you, Yarn Ho.
So
It's
she got
so
the,
cute.
She was the fabric
the winner.
winner. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that was
it's
very
very
nice.
sweet.
We meant to mention that last week. We forgot because she got it to us.
That's very
earlier.
sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
So okay.
Should we move the sign that's in front of you, Beth?
Yeah.
Because we like to cover you up, but you know, probably should.
Oops.
I should say these little peppermint tables.
They're so cute.
I got them at
So cute.
at
the
Target.
Target.
in the spot area.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah, it's two, a little one and a big one.
Okay, let me just put this thread to the back here. I'm almost finished. My WIP-GO piece, the first one I'm working on, I haven't gotten to the other one yet, of course, but the first one I've been working on is this Elephant Biscornu by Tiny Modernist. part of her Discovering You of the Month club. Don't judge me. And so when I picked it up for this this round, I had done like about half of it. I think the upper half here. And so I've done one complete elephant. Oops, sorry. I have there's some back stitching that goes on each of the elephants I haven't done yet, but so I did this third elephant, and so now I'm working on the fourth one. And I was hoping that I could at least finish the front half, this front side. But and I still could. I guess it was Tuesday and Wednesday, and somewhat Thursday. I didn't do a whole lot of stitching. I just like on Tuesday we had a concert that night, and so during the day I did some stitching then, I guess, and then Wednesday we had some running around and stuff to do. I had an appointment in the morning. Eve had an appointment in the afternoon. Then we went grocery shopping, and that's always exhausting. And so, you know, I was just like dilly-dallying and not doing anything.
We don't like to put it off for a day when we don't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
Because we have to go on the first Wednesday of the month.
Yeah. And so, and then yesterday I had another appointment, and then, you know, just... And so I didn't, you know, I thought, oh yeah, I could stitch all afternoon, you know, I'm done with my stuff. And I just like, didn't do anything. So I'm still working on that elephant. And then the other thing I've been working on is this Snowman 2023 by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And this I am almost done with. I have like just a little bit left to go down, and I think the line on this border ends like, yeah, right on the top of this tree. So there's just a few stitches to go to get over there, and then a few stitches down to the tree, and I'll be done with this. I had it out of the hoop earlier, but this most of it's in there. But it's yeah, this little snowman, and then there's a little frame of white and some snowflakes and stuff around him. So it's very cute. So I've been doing that just, you know, because. And I have some other Christmas stitching things that I've been doing that I think I'm going to concentrate on them more, because some of them are for Christmas presents, and my other WIP-GO stuff, you know, like my Voyage of Discovery thing, that's the other WIP-GO pull. You know, if I have to wait until after Christmas to do that, that's fine, or whatever. Because I want to get the stuff that I want to do before Christmas. I want to get that done. And speaking of which, I showed this last week that I stitched. I stitched it a long time ago, but I finished it because I think I'm going to give it to my cousin for a Christmas present. And I have a little wooden like easel thing that it'll sit in. But I hadn't put the trim on the edges, and so I did that. I added this little trim. The one thing I don't know if I'm going to do is, I feel like it. I don't know if I kind of want to put something on the bottom, because I had to kind of glue this within an inch of its life because it's very frayy, and but it's gonna sit in the little easel thing, so maybe it won't really show. I don't know, but that's the Be Well ornament, and this was by the Blackberry Rabbit. I talked about it last week, and the other thing I talked about last week. Ooh, sorry, there's a thread here. Was this little Be Well ornament. I mean, that was a Be Well ornament. Be Well thing. This is Not a Creature Was Stirring. And this was by Jabco. You buy the buttons and you get the pattern free. I got it at, they had it at the attic. So I had stitched this and finished it on this ornament form and did the fabric in the back. But so I finished it again. I put some trim on the edges of this, and I put a little bow here just to kind of help cover up the little staples on the back of this jute hanger thing. But yeah, so now it's done and completely finished. And that was just an extra. Wasn't on my WIP-GO list or anything. So then, the other thing, last week I talked about several patterns that from the Jingle Ball that I had purchased, most of them with Pug Dog money. But
If you don't know what Pug Dog Bunny is, just
Yeah.
you have to watch the movie.
yeah,
You have
there's
to
a-
watch Life with Father.
Yeah, there's a great movie. I was just looking at the details on it because I wanted to make sure that I had it right. But it's from 1947. William Powell, Irene Dunn, and Elizabeth Taylor when she was young, very young, like a teenager, and Jimmy Lydon is the other teenage boy that's in love with her. But if you remember the show Adam 12, Martin Milner, that was the blonde cop, he's in that movie when he was a kid also.
It's a very, very funny
But it's
movie.
very funny, and
I
there's
will not be baptized.
and the other one I love is what you gave your mother dog medicine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so the Pug Dog money, he's trying to explain to the wife, the father's trying to explain to the wife, like,
And something isn't free because you return something
Yeah,
and then
'cause she's
use
like-
it for something else.
Yeah.
she returned something, and so so you owe me $5 because I returned that. And he's like, no. Anyway, it's really, really funny.
No, I like when the son wants to buy to
It's not the price, it's the money.
that too. No, he when he tells the father, like I think it's when he wants to get the new suit of clothes or something. I don't remember what, but he says something, and the father starts to say, "You're something like you're sounding just as crazy as your mother." But he starts to say that, and then the mother comes out and he stops all of a sudden. Like, you're starting to sound just like, oh, hi. But,
Yeah, it's a great movie.
yeah, it's a great movie.
It's black
full
and
of-
white, but watch
No,
it anyway.
it's not.
It's
No, it's a
colorized.
color. It's just
Or-
Technicolor.
It's
Oh,
it's,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And, but it's just full of
You can tell that we all love it. We've
Yeah.
watched it a lot.
yeah.
know all the lines.
All the lines are our favorites. But anyway, so like I said, I bought a lot of these with Pug Dog money because I had already spent the money on something else, and it was in PayPal, so it felt great because it was like, oh, this is free, ding 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 ding, you know. And I am actually getting some patterns in the mail and I ordered some like floss packs and trim packs that are coming in the mail also. But this is by Lindy Stitch's Polar Bear Abode. She had a series of things that were like Eagle Manor was one, and some of the stuff. Because I did go actually through my magazines, my Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazines, and several patterns like that. Like Eagle Manor was one of the ones that was in there, and there's other little homes, animal homes, whatever. But this one, Polar Bear Boat, I didn't see it in my magazines, but actually I was thinking that it might be, in my online things, because I have a subscription to the magazine, I have access to all the patterns, that were in them from even before I had the subscription. So I don't know exactly when she, this is part of the Happy Habitats series. So I don't know exactly, this is from 2021. And I had purchased several of the magazines, but there's, one or two that I was missing before I got the subscription. And then, so anyway, this one, I might already have this one. I don't know. But it didn't look familiar to me, so I went ahead and I think I purchased this, But yeah, so it's cute. And then several of the designers, all of the designers
Yeah.
had freebies on their shop pages, but I think you couldn't. I think you could, some of them, all of them, or most of them, you couldn't really see. You had to go by, whatever the title was, and I could have just, taken all of them and then just decided what I wanted and what I didn't want, but I didn't do that. So I think I got some of them, some of the freebies, but not all of them, I guess. So this one, I think this is one I purchased. But this is Ink Circle's Holiday Magic, or maybe it was a freebie. I don't know. But it's these little. It's a reindeer, and the little antlers are like just I don't know, really cute little.
I think one of the ladies at the attic was working on that. I was watching their Flosstube.
Yeah, but
if not, it was
it's really
something
cute.
similar.
And I guess it's just done with a single color. Yeah, it
Looks
stitches
like
and it says this little reindeer has a protection charm woven into his antlers. So, and it was stitched in cranberry silk by Gloriana. So it's just the one color. And then I have this big pile here. Mostly it's huge because I bought the Jingle Bell Baubles books, and if I had thought about it, had thought it through, because I wanted them, I would have purchased them the printed versions because the PDF files, I didn't realize they were so huge. It's like 32 pages. It's really huge, but all of the I'm going to show just the back page because this is all the designs. I can take it off without ripping it. Okay. These are the ones from last year. So there's just a whole bunch of ornaments. I'll take a picture of this page that shows it. But there's like a couple of pretty little Santa ornaments and Clementine Fox from Frosted Pumpkin, and there's a cute giraffe in a sweater from Blue Flower, I think, and this, I love this little mouse. Not even a mouse.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Oh, so that packet has all those?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because it has I think the 12 designers that were there. Yeah, and then so there's that. This giant paper clip. And then this year's baubles. There's this set here, and I like this little. This is by Lindy Stitches. This little kitty up here, and it's a cat and a mouse with a candle. And there's like, not all creatures were asleep, and then this little reindeer is really cute. I can't remember who the designer is. And there's a Satsuma Street bird. And this one is, I think the title is something like Yo Ho Ho, or but it's a ship with a Christmas tree and some elves on it. And I also got, I forget what it's called. I'll show it in a second. But the ornament that she did was also sort of sea themed. I think it's Ink Circles. I think is Ink Circles. I think. Anyway, so I bought the Jingle Bell Baubles book. And then these are, this is by Lindy Stitches, and this was in collaboration with the Blue Flower. And I don't know if I showed the Blue Flower thing last week, or if I have it amongst these. Just a second here. I don't know. I don't have it here in front of me, but this Snowy Snuggles scrapbook is a collaboration between the Blue Flower and Lindy Stitches. And so there's the one by Lindy Stitches. There's like two little parakeets, I guess, and some kittens, and one with some dogs, and one with grandma and little dog. And then the other ones are by Blue Flower. So there's a total of, I want to say, 8. Each one has 4. So that's really cute. And then this is also Lindy Stitch's Love and Joy. Love and Joy come to you. It's a little Santa and a reindeer. Yeah. And then this one is also Lindy Stitch's Silver Bells, and it's sort of a peacock with a real pretty little Christmassy tail.
Were you in the choir with me in elementary school when we sang Silver Bells and went to a mall to sing it?
I don't remember doing that.
It's still one of my favorite Christmas songs because of it.
This is also Lindy Stitch's Glad Tidings. And so there's 2 panels here. One says Gloria in Excelsis Deo, and there's some angels. As Pam Schaefer says, an angel blowing a horn, their favorite thing. And then the other one is a picture of the manger, and it says, "Behold the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world." So these 2 panel things here are in that set. And then this is by Hands On Design, Shiny Objects. There's 3 little ornament things that you could in this set. And I think this is the one I ordered a floss pack for that. I can't remember what. Ooh, there's the dog.
Those are pretty.
Yeah. And then this.
You wouldn't choke if you quit eating your nails.
Well, those are pretty.
Yeah.
She's not barking, she's choking.
And then this one I really liked. This is a collaboration between Kathy Barrick and her daughter, actually. Hello from Liz Matthews. And this is called Santa and the Wool Makers. The Santa and a sheep there, and I think it's it's a rabbit that he's holding. But there's some birds and a little house and an owl and all kinds of trees and branches and stuff. But the big sheep and the Santa are the things that I really liked about this. So it's fairly big, and there's like a little row of trees along the bottom and all that. It's fairly big, but it's really pretty. I like that a lot. So it's Santa and the Wool Makers. And then these are ink circles. This little one here called Reindeer Games, The Huddle, and it's just it's hard to tell right at first glance what it's a picture of, but it's all these reindeer heads, like looking at each other. See?
Oh, I see.
Huddled together. And there's
It
a red
looks like
dot.
tree
There's Rudolph.
branches. Oh, I see. That's funny.
And then this is the one that that little yo ho ho ornament is from. This is ink circles, seas and greetings. So it's a bunch of ships with Christmas trees and stuff like that. So it's Christmassy, but it's ships. There's one with Santa Claus. This one has elves and a Christmas tree and a star. So it's it's nautical, but it's Christmas at the same time. So yeah, it's really cute. So that's what I spent all my money on. This one made me think of you.
Aw, cute.
Yeah.
Didn't you do one that looked a lot like that you had done for Mom, and then you didn't finish it until recently? You finished it as a pillow.
Not with the sheep.
No, I know
but
that.
it's
just the design-ish
yeah,
thing.
Kind of. It's
The same
what is it?
look.
Christmas
I guess.
at Winterberry Cabin.
Yeah,
It's
I think so, maybe.
what's her, Berta Gervais with that needle and thread pattern. Yeah, I think I had finished stitching it, but I hadn't FFO'd it but I was gonna give it to Mom that Christmas, and then she passed away. So. And that's me.
Look, I joined the two sides of the cuff.
Ah,
So now it's a double cuff.
let's see. There's a meme of a cat in one of those, is it Bernat yarn labels, and it says, "Difficult to work with. I don't recommend it."
Oh yeah, those big Bernat
Yeah.
balls with those giant labels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And
Okay, so stories from the trail.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get my notes up here because I have notes. Yeah. Well, okay, so while I was in Boston, I had every kind of Uber driver you can imagine. Like great ones, and not great ones, and this one chick who was like driving so fast on the streets of Boston, like we were actually airborne at one point. and then I was like, what the heck?
Did you write her a thing saying that you drove too fast?
I did. I knocked her down a star, and it said why. And I was like, well, first of all, her car smelled like cigarettes, which I didn't like. And then I'm like, driving too fast was an option. I'm like, oh yeah. But when I got there, it's funny because at the airport, now I remember the last time I went to Boston to get an Uber, you had to go all the way out and across and down and, this elevator and that walkway and like way far away from the airport. And this time, I guess maybe enough people are taking Ubers that they're like, fine. And you just had to walk. You couldn't get it right on the first curb. You just had to cross the little road and get it on the second curb over there, which was nice. And so I was standing there and there was a whole bunch of cars there. And I called it. And it said, your Uber driver's here right now. And I'm like, okay. And it's a particular car with, license plate, blah, blah, blah. And I looked up and right across the little, across the small lane, there it was sitting parked. So I knocked on the window. He's like, oh, that was fast. And he was nice because when we got to Hannah's apartment, he got out of the car and he took my suitcase out.
Uber has to...
And took me across the street. And made sure she was, because there's a big UPS truck in front of her apartment, so I couldn't see her. And he's like, well, let's go see if she's there. It was so sweet.
Uber has to have contracts with the airports.
Yeah.
And a lot of airports, for some stupid reason, they don't want to because they don't want to make the cabbies mad.
Well, yeah,
And if you're inclined to take a taxi, you're not going to take an Uber. And if you're inclined to take an Uber, you're not setting foot in a taxi.
Well, yeah, and it's not like I was going to call an Uber and I changed my mind because there's a taxi cab there. Like, no, I have, I don't have to. Now, cabs are easier. You can pay with a credit card. You don't have to have cash, blah, blah, blah. But still.
Yeah, it's just a preference. Just like shuttles to various places and all that. So,
but it was that guy was really nice, and some were very grumpy and silent, and some were sweet, and it was funny. But
airport runs for me were always like, I don't know if I want to pick up at the airport.
Yeah, it would be hard. It must be a hard job.
It doesn't give you, for the airport, it doesn't give you what direction or how long you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's true, huh?
Yeah. So that's how I ended up taking a fare to Tucson.
To Tucson. My gosh.
He was really sweet. Well, it wasn't actually Tucson. It was a little tiny town just north of Tucson.
Yeah. No, but I had all manner of. But Hannah's performance was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Did you listen to it?
Yes, I did.
It was probably the best she's ever played. And it's my absolute favorite piece. And it was just stellar. It was just,
Yeah,
when
it
you're
was
like,
really
I think
good.
my kid's good, then you actually hear them and you're like, no, objectively, as a musician, as a picky musician that I am, that, you know, nobody makes me happy sometimes. I thought it was great. Like, you know, it also stood up to my picky,
Standards.
fussy standards.
Yeah.
Not just because she was my kid, but it was just very emotional. And it was a really great time. And then that was Thursday, and then Friday night, I debated because Holiday Pops opened that night with the Boston Pops, and I was like, I should go, and I'm glad I did. I chose to see my old friend from college, and we had dinner, and she's hysterical, and so that was a lot of fun. That
Instead
night,
of the Pops,
instead of the Pops,
uh-huh.
yeah, because.
Yeah.
It was kind of her only free night, and
You were being
it was
too
my only free night.
You were being too cultural anyway.
Yeah, so she, because Hannah had a Friendsgiving party to go to, so I was on my own. And so yeah, we met up for dinner. That was fun. And on Friday day, so I'm trying to think. I can't remember now exactly. I know she had a what you said was a rehearsal. It was actually a master class.
I didn't know. I just looked
Yeah.
at it and I was
And
like,
then-
I don't know what this is.
After the master class, she's like, we have time to go to the yarn store before the party tonight. And I was like, are you sure? Okay. So we go, and she was like, I really want to knit. Now, okay, so Mark and I had planned to give her a full sweater's quantity of yarn for Christmas and a pattern. I was going to find a perfect pattern for her, and I was going to buy her the yarn or a gift card or whatever. And so we went out to the yarn shop, Gather Here, and she was like, I really want to knit something, because she's finished with all her stuff, all the heavy stress that she had to do. She's finished with it, and so she was like, kind of like brain break, wanted to knit something. So I messaged Mark, and I'm like, should we just give her Christmas present early? And he's like, I guess. And so I said, all right, as long as you're not upset that there won't be anything under the tree for you, I plan to give you a sweater's quantity of yarn, which is like, it's a lot, you know? And she's like, okay. So I got her, she picked a yarn, and it's 100% wool. It's a beautiful color. Oh, here's a picture of her knitting. She said, wearing a sweater, knitting a sweater. So this is a picture of her in the sweater I made for Dad that she took.
As long as she's
it fits
not
her.
knitting a sweater as she's wearing the sweater.
No. Yeah, knitting the sweater. Yeah.
So Beth said
But-
she hadn't seen it. Have you seen that commercial for that Take 5 oil change thing about how they're so fast? And then she says, I didn't even have time to finish the sweater that she was knitting, right? And then they take a family photo and they're all wearing sweaters. Like,
I have not seen it. I'll have to look it up. But so she's wearing Dad's sweater that I gave her because it like she and Dad are the same size. So she's wearing Dad's sweater. She's working on her sweater, and it's a beautiful like burgundy red, and but it's 100% wool. It's very sticky, 100% organic, like no acrylic, no nothing. I hope she doesn't find it too scratchy, but so I told her, Hannah, you knit this sweater, you have got to hand wash it and lay it flat to dry. If you spend all this time on this sweater and you put it in the washer, you are going to be a very sad little girl, and I'm not going to feel sorry for you because it will be this big. It will be felted. Like this will felt. So I'm hoping she's listening to me. I mean, you got to learn lessons sometimes, and either you're going to listen to the lesson or you're going to experience the lesson, right?
I had a little sweater vest that had belonged to Grandpa Eli, and I was very careful with it. I didn't wear it very often, and then I think I hand washed it once or twice when I had it. But at some point, and one of our aunts was visiting, and she just like took stuff from my room to fill out the load or whatever.
Oh, no.
And she took that sweater and she put it in the washer and it shrank.
Oh, that's
Ruined
criminal
it.
behavior.
Yeah.
What is it with people thinking they need to fill out a load? My college roommate took jeans that were already clean and took them down to wash them with her clothes.
Took your jeans.
My jeans that were already clean.
Yep.
And I went down to do laundry and I'm like, those look like my pants.
Oh, no.
She left them down there.
She left them down there on top of the dryer in a college dorm. And I went up to her and I said, "Are those my jeans down there?" And she goes, "Yeah, I took them so that I could, fill up the load." And I said, "And you left them down there? Why?" "Well, they're not my jeans."
That chick was crazy.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was. She lives here in Phoenix. Or,
Oh.
well, she did. I don't know if she still does.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. But then so anyway, I kind of wanted to go to Holly Pops and I didn't. But tonight, Hannah got one of her friends subs with the Boston Pops, and so she got tickets. So she and her three of her. So one of the friend is in their quartet, and so she and the other two people in the quartet got to go. And she sent pictures today, and she's like, "It healed my soul." Like, she just loved it. But anyway, so she's got this sweater, and she's working on it. She's about, like, she wanted to knit her first raglan top-down sweater. So started at the neck, and we worked. So all day Saturday, we just sat and knit. It was really nice. And I helped her with the short rows in the back of the neck, and then she's knitting down, and she's about to separate the sleeves out, and she's doing real well. And so we'll see how it goes, and she'll come home with it for Christmas. But so that was a lot of fun. And then so funny story from the airplane. So my airplane rides were pretty much okay. I had fairly decent people in the rows with me and stuff. But on the way home, there was a family up a couple rows with a little baby. She was probably a year old, maybe a little over, maybe not quite, because I think she had some words. But mostly she was just babbling. Like, she cried like any kid would cry when they're confined to a horrible
And their
metal
ears
tube.
pop
And yeah, I mean, when we first got on the plane, she was fussing and stuff. But then for most of the flight, she was just babbling and stuff. Well, so I was in the window, and this young girl, at first I was like, oh, she reminds me of Hannah, but she must have been younger. And she sat in the middle, and she was so little, that she stuck her backpack under the thing and then lifted her feet up, and she was like, like up on the chair, all, just in a little ball or whatever. And she must have had, because on Southwest flights you can get internet, and if you have WhatsApp, you can text people. So she must have had WhatsApp, because she was texting with somebody the whole flight. And as we started to approach Phoenix, I saw her texting somebody, and because I am who I am, I was looking. Well, so at one point, and the little baby up front, a couple rows, was just babbling, like cute babbling with her parents. And I see this chick. Okay, first of all, the whole flight she was, but I mean like snotty, and then she'd do this and rub her hand like this on the back of her hand on her nose, and I was like, I was going nuts, because first of all, I hate that sucking your snot stuff, and then I knew she was wiping boogers all over her hands. And I'm like, if I get sick, I'm going to kill you. I don't know who you are, and I'll never see you again, but I'm going to find you and hunt you down, because I do not want to get sick. And it could have been allergies. But anyway, She goes, so there she was, right? And I see her text, why do people travel with babies? And I'm like, first of all, you are a baby. Second of all, because what are you going to do? Leave them behind? Like, if a family is traveling, they have to take the baby with them, right? And someone traveled with you at some point last year because you're a baby. And so then as soon as we landed, and you can turn your cellular function on, I was texting my family, and I was like, this girl next to me said this, and yes, I read her texts, and I hope she's reading mine. So I'm like, because you're the baby.
I have to finish.
Huh?
I finished.
Finish.
Finished.
So,
Finish.
I had a conversation with somebody. I used to work in a church nursery taking care of infants 0 to, sometimes I was in the toddler room like 2, but mostly 0 to a year. And there was an infant there whose mother had specifically told me, unless she really needs something, don't call me. She needs to understand that screaming doesn't mean mom is coming, if I have everything that she needs, right? She was really little. And so at one point she was really crying and crying and crying, but she'd been fed and she'd been changed and, all those things, right? Mm-hmm. And a man that was in there working with me, because if you had a child in the nursery, you had to volunteer in the nursery. So he was in there. He said, how can you stand it with them crying all the time? And I said, she doesn't talk. And that is her only way of showing displeasure. And I am intentionally not giving her something that she wants. Mm-hmm. So that's why she's crying.
Not only that, but if that guy's a dad, it's like, get used to it, dude.
And I was like, she's not doing it to make me mad, and she's not doing it to being annoying. Well, a small amount of annoying. God made them make that particular screechy sound to get an adult's attention so that you will come and take care of, whatever's going on. And I'm like, I'm just intentionally not giving her something that she wants, which is her mom. But she was with her mom. Her mom was a stay-at-home mom, so she was with her mom all the time. And she did not want to be called to be holding her because she wanted her to get used to not being with mom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And for an hour,
Yeah, and I remember my mother saying, my mother was a first grade teacher, and I remember her saying that she had children in first grade who had never been separated from their mother, and
who would cry all
they would
the
cry the first several weeks of school, and so they missed a lot of education for that reason.
Where they thought their name was Baby. They'd never held a crayon.
She had all those stories. Yeah. I know she scolded me for giving Hannah a coloring book. She's like, she doesn't need a coloring book. She's plain white paper. Okay, Mom.
Well, I'm sorry. I believe that too.
I do too. I mean, I agree. But I'm like, it was a fun coloring book. Like, what am I going to do?
You know, when you were telling that story about that girl wiping her nose on her hands, there was a woman in my office.
That's usually guys that do that.
There was a woman in my office when I worked at Family Life who she would come up, to ask a question or whatever, and she was always like running her hand up her nose like that, Yeah. She was a smoker, so it might have been, just stuff, but it would always gross me out so much as she would, especially because she would run her hand up her nose like this, and I'm like, really?
Were you wearing a mask on the plane?
No.
What you should have done when she was doing that is pointedly open your purse and grab one out and put it on and look at her, or hand it to her. Here, put that on. In today's time,
I thought about it. I was like, I should have had a mask. Well, it's funny because everybody in the Phoenix airport when I was waiting, everyone was coughing. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to get sick. And
I'm sorry, if you don't want to get sick, you shouldn't be on a plane.
I know. But I was just like, I had forgotten to bring a mask, you know, and not that it totally helps anyway, but a little bit. And so, and then I remember I think it was in Chicago, there was nobody coughing. I was like, wow, everyone in Chicago is healthy. I'm Phoenix.
That's like I said, that time I got pneumonia at, this was, before the pandemic, and so nobody wore masks or anything like that.
Right.
And this girl, we had tall walls in our cubicles, but I could hear the girl.
And everybody used to come to work sick, remember?
Yeah, and next door to me, and she was, hacking and coughing and hacking, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get sick.
This is a story about how people don't get jokes. So one day we were in a concert, or we're talking about people coughing in a concert, and I jokingly said, "Remember when coughing was outlawed?" Because remember, like during the pandemic, like if you were coughing, you were not anywhere public, so you could, like after you started like going back to concerts and stuff, you go to a concert and no one was coughing because anyone with a cough would be like, I need to test for COVID and stay home, right? So there was just no coughing. And so I said that. Remember when coughing was outlawed? And they got so offended. I don't even remember who it was. Coughing wasn't outlawed. I'm like, it's a joke. It's a joke. Of course it wasn't outlawed. I'm just saying, like, nobody who was coughing for any reason, or even if you had an allergy,
people would look at you askance if you coughed too.
That's what I mean.
Well,
like,
I'm sorry. Even before the pandemic, I did.
But you know what I mean.
Especially if somebody had a baby with one of those croupy coughs out in public, and I'm like, your child is miserable. Why are you out here?
Well, but I mean, like in like performances like that, you like now people just clear their throats, and we're back to pre-pandemic, like where people just make noise and are gross and just do whatever, and nobody cares. But for that 2 years or whatever it was, it was like you forced yourself not to cough, even if you needed to for an unsick reason. You're like, I don't want to cough because everyone's gonna look at me funny, So that's what I meant, and they were like, it wasn't outlawed. I'm like, I'm not making a political statement. I'm making a joke.
But yeah, that when I got sick, I'm still convinced that it was because of that girl.
Yeah.
Because but I'm thinking, like, why is she at work? Because I don't know if because you had to have a job for a certain amount of time before you could work from home. So maybe she wasn't eligible to work from home, or maybe she didn't have. Well, I think if she could have worked from home, then she wouldn't have had to use PTO time, to be at home, whatever. So I don't know what the circumstances were, but for whatever reason, she was at work, hacking her lungs up.
Dog.
And the thing is that she could take PTO if she needed to or whatever if she's sick. But I was, as a long-term temp, I really didn't have sick hours. If I didn't go to work, I didn't get paid.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't want to get sick.
Yeah.
And that was like on Friday. And by the weekend, I was sick, and I didn't go to work Monday or Tuesday. And then I had gone to the doctor on Tuesday, and they said, you have pneumonia. Yeah. And so they said, no, you shouldn't go to work. And so I ended up staying home for a week.
Yeah.
But that's what I wanted my iPad.
But truth be told, that's kind of a short amount of time in between somebody coughing and you getting
That's true.
sick.
But if she was in work the day prior,
she shouldn't have been there. But I remember when my son was in kindergarten or elementary school, there was a really bad flu going around, and I remember in Colorado specifically, a lot of children were dying from this. And it was right when they came out with that medication that you can give somebody, like
Tamiflu.
children, right away to try to lessen the severity of it. And my cousin's little boy got sick. and with that same strain of flu. And he happened to have died from it. And right afterward, nobody was taking their child to church because he had been at church, right? And I'm like, yeah, are you still taking your children to the grocery store? Because I'm telling you that you're going to get a lot more germs there. At least at church they use bleach and wash everything after each child touches them. But it hasn't been just with the pandemic that people have been afraid to be exposed to like H1N1, to be exposed to an illness that is severe. And so if you are coughing, if you are sick, if you're running a fever, I don't care what illnesses are going on, you need to stay at home. My boss, when I worked at the graphic design studio, when her daughter was sick and was not allowed to be in daycare, she would bring her to the office.
Nice.
And she would be there in the office, and I'd say, Linda, why is your daughter here? Well, she's sick right now. And I said,
why is your daughter here?
Again, I asked, hey, do you think, okay, so I made the cuff, and then I did 5 rows of red. Should I have changed to white there? I should have, huh? Would look better.
I don't think it matters.
Does it matter?
Oh, with the little dent is.
Yeah, so like I should have changed to white right away.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't think it matters. Because it's just like a row of red before the row of white.
Yeah.
Because you can stick a little ribbon through there or something. If you don't like it, pull it out and do it again. So, I want to talk for a moment about my knee. Because I have been talking about the lava injected into my knee and all of that. And I had another injection. And I have to say that this one wasn't as painful. But I can already tell that it is so much better. I made tortillas, not well, but I made tortillas, and that's a lot of walking and standing. And I made cookies, and these are things that I haven't done in a long time because I didn't want to stand. And today, and I made dinner, made chorizo, and and all this other stuff. And I remember telling Dr. Tuftel, the doctor that injected he said, so what are you wanting from this? I said, I would like to be able to cook again and enjoy it. Because anymore, to me, cooking was something that I did out of necessity, not because I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. And, I can remember, this Thanksgiving, I didn't want to make anything. Mm-hmm. I can remember times when I wanted to experiment with this recipe and that recipe and all that, and not so much anymore. But I felt like that again recently. Mm-hmm.
I never feel like that.
Yeah, but you never. But you never did.
No, that's what I mean. I never feel like that. I never feel like experimenting with cooking and anything like that. Nope. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta. So tomorrow. So I was really sad at my office. One of our executives lost his mom on Tuesday.
How sad.
And she is so sweet, and she and I had formed just a baby of a friendship, and she was moving here, and so we were going to get together, and then she moved here, and then I hadn't seen her, and then she got kind of sick. I guess she had some medical difficulties, and I knew she was not well, and I had to go see her. You know how it is. And
seriously,
what happened?
She had garbage.
I meant to go see her, and I didn't. You know how you always
Mm-hmm.
never do the right thing when you think you're going to. Anyway, but when I heard that she was, suffering so and so sick, I actually made her a felt, or not felt, but a fleece blanket,
Mm-hmm.
and sent it to her via him, and he was really appreciative. And he said, oh, she loved it and everything. And then just on Tuesday, we were talking, and she was back in the hospital, and I didn't realize it, and I was like, "Oh, so sorry." And then the next morning, we found out she'd passed away, and so so sad. So anyway, I'm gonna cook him a meal tomorrow and make him some of that my homemade bread and take it to him tomorrow afternoon. So
I just found out I have a Cibola alumni thing, Facebook page or whatever, but I just found out that Steve Gracie, a guy I knew since elementary school, had passed away. There was a few people that I knew from school that were commenting on it, but yeah, Steve Gracie was I even know where he used to live in the neighborhood and stuff like that, but yeah,
so strange.
It's yeah. Well, and at my age, I just I know more and more people that are
I had a band director in college, the first college that I went to, and this guy was awful. And on the first day, we were all sitting, and he was kind of talking about, he goes, well, you guys are of an age now when it is more likely than not that you're going to start losing your parents. Like,
Nice. That's weird.
I don't think that's something you really need to talk about.
In marching band.
He made me quit marching band because I wanted to see Aunt Alice and Uncle Tony when they were back from my aunt and uncle were missionaries, and they were back for a very short time around Christmas, and I had to make a choice between going to some stupid thing in between the semesters, which, by the way, he can't make me go because
school's not in session.
School's not in session. But he said, if you don't show up, you can't be in band in the spring. Well, I don't know how he could say that. But, I didn't fight it with the school because I couldn't stand him after that. Mm-hmm. So I showed up the first day in band because I didn't go. And he said, you weren't at the such and such. And I said, I know. He goes, well, you're not allowed to be here now. I said, I had to come today because it's on my class schedule from when I signed up last month. Because you need to sign the paper for me to be able to drop out of it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this guy was such an infant.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I guess I better go. I better go.
We were going to try to get our tree next tomorrow. Golly, I'm in a time warp. But it's not going to happen until next week, looks like. So
Choking.
We're gonna get ours, I think, on Sunday afternoon. We have a gig in the morning, and then Mark might have a play date with his music friends. Mm-hmm. But I think we're gonna try to get it tomorrow or this weekend. Sunday. I hope.
But when you get a live tree like us, it's like I don't want to get it Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah. I don't want to put it up then because it'll just die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No matter what you put in the water or whatever. Yeah.
So, and then I've got to think like, oh, do I still need unbreakables? And then
no, because you're a cat.
Now we have a new. I think I got all the stitches.
I know.
Now we've got a new entertainment center that's like basically halfway as tall as the tree, and I'm like, the cat's going to be like, oh, I can reach the top half now. So
like that pattern I bought and haven't stitched. OMG, you got me a tree.
Yeah. I know. I decided to start with the white sooner than than I did. So I went around and tried to pick up all the stitches, and we'll see if it works. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us for another week. And the dog's like, oh, you're done finally. And we will. We hope you're having a great start to your holiday season, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.